everybody, how are you doing? Today we have the possibility to test our own Audi S6 TDI, the car that we have collected almost, I think, 2 months ago already. It now has 6,000 kilometers on the clock and should be partially run in, and we will do the test using the drift box going from 0 to 100 and of course also 100 to 200. Of course, compared to the other cars that we just tested, this S6 TDI will not be as fast, of course, but if you're considering the fact that it has half of the costs of an Audi RS6, if you really calculate insurance, all the taxes and all the leasing rates, put the fuel and everything together, I think that's a pretty reasonable car for that amount of money, and also very interesting for many people looking for a company car. So put everything in dynamic, put the traction control into the handling mode so that we can also engage the launch control, and let's see how it does. So let's now see how fast the S6 goes from 100 to 200. So the numbers that we managed to do are a 4.7 onto 100, which I think is pretty good considering the 2-ton weight of the car and let's say only 350 diesel horsepower. The launch control is pretty effective also with this diesel car. I did not expect that, honestly. Secondly, the number that we managed to do is a 14.1 seconds from 100 to 200, which equals in a time of 18.9, I guess, or 18.8 to 200, which I think is reasonable considering the wind actually that we have today and the big size car and also the weight. As I said, actually the sweet spot of this car is not a full throttle acceleration from launch control, but it's more that pull through that you get from the mid RPM ranges, which is very, very, let's say, strong, and you also feel that 700 Newton meters of torque which they claim. Actually, in some situations from a pull-through perspective, it feels even stronger than, for example, an RS6, which has more torque, but the torque is not as, let's say, brutal in some moments. Of course, it's a very narrow ref range where they provide that torque, or more narrow than, for example, as with the RS6, but still, yeah, a good traveling car, and it's still some fun if you want to go fast on the Autobahn. Plus, of course, you have that nice sound in the back from the exhaust. It's artificial, but it still sounds very nice, and also inside it sounds a lot more, let's say, thrilling than a normal A6 with the 50 TDI engine. So make sure to follow all the stuff we also upload on Instagram and Facebook, and stay tuned for the next weeks and next days with some more cool car videos.